Most agents are fearful of chargebacks when it comes to simplified issue products like final expense life insurance. I want to make the case that your chargebacks can be overall good for you, for your profitability over time.
You sound insane. Do you realize that?
I know it sounds crazy. I'm going to explain it here, okay? I don't care if you owe thousands of dollars to a carrier or two or five right now. Doesn't matter. If you work that business that fell off the books, that already purchased from you, already trusts you, if you work that business to its full potential, your chargebacks will turn into profits over time, okay? This is the business of rewrites that I don't hear anybody really talk about. Digital BG agents watching this, they know that we say this is a service business as much as it is a sales business when it comes to final expense telesales, okay? And when we talk about the business of rewrites, this isn't about replacing or churning business. I'm not asking you to go out there and do that. This is about rewriting policies that have fallen off the books that you've tried to conserve, right? You may have not gotten a hold of them or whatever happened, and that policy falls off and it's no longer in force. It now goes into a bucket of rewrites, okay? This is a bucket of people you should be calling on consistently, month after month. Now, here's the thing. Agents give up way too easily after a policy lapses, way too easily. That person should be in your follow-up queue every week until you get a hold of them, right? And if you don't get a hold of them after a few weeks, then yeah, switch it to every month. But you should follow up on those until they tell you to stop following up, okay? If they tell you, you get them on the phone and they tell you that they don't want it anymore, liars, right? That's just a smokescreen. They want it, they already purchased it, right? At that point, you need to compare it to what happens if they don't have this coverage. What happens to their family then, right? And then you get them to say they can't afford it. That's pretty much what it usually is. And if they can't afford it, that's fine. You keep following it. At some point, they will buy again. And you need to be the person who's there, who's following up with them every single month. You're constantly in front of them. You're going to catch them one time when they may have just had Thanksgiving dinner or had had somebody pass away recently and seen the effects that happened to their friends or family. And they're going to say, like, okay, I should have done this. I need to keep this policy in force, right? You're going to catch them at a time where it's going to make sense and you'll get them back on the books. But the point of this is you need to keep following up with them. Okay. You have an existing business relationship with them because they're a client of yours. None of the TCPLs apply. Okay. Until they tell you to stop contacting them, you can keep contacting them because they're a client of yours and you should. And that is a very valuable bucket of people that you can contact for the long term that you've already built trust with, you've already built rapport with, who see the value of the coverage. Now, I don't think agents understand the power and the profitability of working your lapsed book of business. A lapsed policy, this is how you have to reframe this, okay? A lapsed policy becomes a future income opportunity. To a lot of you, it's this debt that's kind of, looming over you, right? And you have this sort of concept that this is just a negative thing. You have this negative emotion attached to chargebacks. But guys, this is part of the business. You have to have processes in place to follow up with those people. Those are great prospects. It's a hidden perk of final expense. Rewrites are a hidden perk of the final expense business that most agents don't realize. So let's talk through this crazy claim. Many of you are probably thinking that chargebacks can be profitable for your business, okay? So let's just say that you sold a $1,000 annual premium policy, you're at 100% commission level, and you have a 75% advance, all right? Now, just to make the numbers easy, right? So you received a $750 advance commission. Let's say the policy lapsed and you couldn't conserve it, and they made 4 successful payments on the policy, okay? You are now charged back $416 from the carrier. It sucks. You have this debt that you have at the carrier and that you're going to have to sell a policy to clear that debt. And you're not going to get that commission is going to be lowered as well because it's going to have to eat up that $416, right? I get it. Nobody likes that. But if you get into this negative mindset about this business is going to eat you up, guys. So if you can flip that, right? And understand that you earned $333 from that sale still, right? Because there was 4 successful payments. You still earned $333, even though you have this $416 sitting in debt from that carrier. Now, think about this. Now, what happens because you have your processes in place for following up on all the lapsed policies that you have, right? What happens if a few months later, you rewrite them with a different carrier and you get another full commission? Okay, think about that for a second. So instead of receiving a $1,000 commission deposit, right, 100% commission, $1,000 annual premium. So instead of earning $1,000 over the course of a year on that policy, you now just earned $1,333, a 33% increase because that policy lapsed and charged back, but you got them back on the books. I know some of you thinking, yeah, it's more effort, but that's part of the business. Final expense life insurance, yes, it's a sales business, but it's also as much of a service business as it is a sales business. This client who lapsed their policy is now worth more to you than a client who just keeps their policy and doesn't lapse. Okay, let that sink in. Really feel that for a second, because a lot of you have, some carrier debt that it's just getting you down. When you go through your dials every day or you're in your call queues, you kind of have this in the back of your mind, like, okay, I have this debt. And you kind of feel like you're digging out. Okay, that is an asset now. That is a bucket of people that you can call on that every single month that's going to get bigger, and you're going to spin off business off of that bucket of people every single month. So let me reframe this for you from a business standpoint. If you work your lapsed policies like you do your new leads, like your best opportunities, because they are one of your best opportunities, because they've already purchased from you, you've already built that rapport, they're buyers, they want it, right? These lapsed policies could be net profitable for you because these are the best opportunities that you have. Like I said, they bought from you, they want the coverage, they trust you, right? Don't let these opportunities go. Over time, if you built a good relationship with them and you really got them to see the value in this and they trust you, you should be able to rewrite at least 33% of the business that falls off the books over time. The key word is over time. It could take weeks, it could take months, it could take years, but over time, if you have those processes in place, you should get 33% of that back on the books. Now, regardless if you wrote 33% of your lapsed policies, 1 out of 3, right? Your persistency. Let's just say you have a mediocre 75% persistency and you have these chargebacks always looming over you. Guys, that doesn't matter to your P&L if you're in this for the long term, okay? It doesn't matter because after rewrites, you're winning. Now, it gets even sweeter when those lapsed policies happen after the chargeback period. In months 10, 11, or 12, you don't get a chargeback. But let's just say you rewrite them. You're getting another first year commission. Let's say it happened in month 14, for example. You receive that first year commission, they lapse their policy, and now you rewrite them again for another first year commission. So that example that we gave, $1,000 annual premium, right? You received a $1,000 commission and then you wrote them again. They're probably a little bit older now. So you made another over $1,000. And so on that client, you made over $2,000. So when you factor it all in, you factor in the persistency that you have on your book of business, and then the rewrites that happen after months, 10, 11, 12, and beyond, where you get those. And you factor in, the ones that happen during the chargeback period where you are charged back a little bit, but those become overall profitable over time. Once you factor that in, don't worry about those chargebacks because you will see them as an asset. And that's what I want everybody to get in their heads here. The final expense business is not just a sales business, it's a service business, and rewrites. The business of rewrites is where it's at. So you can have people knock final expense telesales all day long because of the persistency, right? A lot of you have really good persistency in the 80, 85% range. But if you also added those rewrites and you have those processes in place for that, guys, over time, it's going to get really sweet for you. And so the issue here is that agents aren't working their lapsed policies like they should. And because of that, they have this debt just looming over them of chargebacks, right? They have this limiting belief that if they lapse their policy, that they're not serious people. When you're dealing with low income people, they're going to run into hard times. It's just going to happen. It's part of the business. You have to treat this as a service business. And the service side of this business for final expense is incredible because it spins out commissions, it spins out profits. If you think of service side of business for like a retail store or an e-commerce store or anything, guys, it's a cost center. This is a revenue center for us. We need to focus on the sales and the service side of the business, and rewrites are a major, major piece of that. Best practices here. Call your lapse policies for a few weeks. Okay, just call on them, text them. If you're not getting any responses, don't stop. Then put them on your monthly call list. And if that builds up and you have dozens and dozens, maybe you start sending letters. Whatever it is, okay? As your business builds, you'll optimize it even more to even get above that 33% of people who lapse their policy to buy from you. You can do much better than that. I'm just saying, I've seen agents over time, since we've been selling final expense at Digital BGA, the agents that really work their business, they're seeing those sorts of numbers. And I saw those sorts of numbers selling life insurance prior to Digital BGA as well. The thing I want to ingrain in everybody watching this video is that if you're in final expense telesales, you have to realize that this is a service business just as much as it is a sales business. I know I said it before, but I don't hear a lot of people saying that. A weak servicing side of your business is going to make you really unprofitable. If you're running at a mediocre 75% 13-month persistency and you're not going after your lapsed policies, guys, it's only a matter of time before you fail out of this business. A huge driver of profits is working that bucket of people that have lapsed their policies. That is an asset in your business. View it as an asset of your business, okay? If you have a lot of chargebacks, guys, put them in a process. You may not write them this week or next month or the next few months. It may be a year from now, but overall, it's going to be profitable for you. You can contact them for as long as you want. There's no 90-day TCPA rule on those because you have an existing business relationship with them. It's a very powerful piece of your business. It's a huge asset of your business. And, it even gets to the point, and a lot of agents watching this video can attest to this, that you have people, even if you're not on top of your lapses, they call you back. And if you have people calling you back to rewrite them, that's like, it's like pennies from heaven, right? It's like, it's free money. But if you're actively going after that, you're going to get a lot more of those. And they're a lot easier to sell because they already trust you. They know that you're there for them. All right. So guys, go after these rewrites. The rewrite part of final expense life insurance telesales is massive. Treat this not just as a sales business, but as a service business, and watch your profitability just keep going up.